As we start looking at more programs, we may find more places where we want to allow subtyping than what we've allowed so far. We've already seen subtyping interaction with functions a little bit in the sense that here is Alice and Bob, and Bob says, "I would like a fish," where fish corresponds to some record that just has a size field. And Alice says, "Well, here's a blue fish." A blue fish is a color fish. It has a size field but also has a color field. And Bob is going to be perfectly happy with this blue field. And if you think of Bob as a kind of function accepting the color fish in place of a regular fish, Bob is happy because a color fish is a subtype of just a plain fish. Let's think about this again. Let's say Bob says, "Can you recommend a fish store for me?" That is, Bob wants to go to the pet store and give them some money, represented as a number, and get back a fish. And Alice says, "Well, I like Blue Fish R Us." And this is a story where you give them some money and they give you a color fish. It has a size field and a color field. Is Bob going to be happy with this? Well, it seems like Bob should be happy. He wanted a fish. He goes to the store. He's going to get a color fish. A color fish is a fish. So yes, Bob is going to be happy. Bob is going to be happy. But the type system knows that Bob is happy only if we say that this type is a subtype of the other type. That is, we have to say that a function that takes a number and gives back a color fish is a subtype of a function that takes a number and gives back just a generic fish. This does work out, and to put it in concrete terms, here is a function f that takes another function g as its argument. And it buys a record in a sense. It pays g a number and it gets a record back, and then it looks for the x field in that record. Locally, this is all fine. We know that we get a record back from g that has an x field, so we can get the x field out and we'll get a number as a result. Here I'm calling f and I'm providing a function that takes a number, and what it produces is a record with an x field and a y field. So that corresponds just like to the store that returns a color fish when you just wanted a fish. But that's okay. The types will work out now if we say that num arrow record with x and y is a subtype of num arrow record with just x. So you see, we want a subtype in the result to be allowed. And to make this happen, then we just want to adjust our rule that formerly said a function type is only a subtype of itself, and say now that a function type is a subtype of some other function type if the result is a subtype of the old result. Right? So again, color fish is a subtype of fish, and a function that returns a color fish is a subtype of a function that returns a fish.